Ethereum here looks like it's absolutely going through the roof. Has crossed over this daily moving average, so it is technically bullish now. And I mean, by these candles since Thursday, October 19th, I would say that is definitely bullish. So be looking to get in on this trade on a buy setup, but not yet. Definitely going to have to wait for some sort of pullback. So let's just see kind of what we're working with. We'll break it down to smaller time frames and just see maybe like where a good entry would be, where our areas of supply and demand are, and overall liquidity. So there's a big area right here. This is the most recent one that we could have, price go to before it sells off. About 2,000. Price loves whole number, so we'll put that in here. Right here, 2,000. So got to keep that in mind, right? That's probably where price is going to, and then after it hits that, it might have a tough time or a tougher time. We'll see. This might just blow right through it, but definitely keeping this area in mind. I mean, price looks really strong. There's a little bit of liquidity. Resistance right here I can see. Just kind of in here overall. So there's a lot more turbulence in this area than there is in this area, right? So it makes sense that price had a much easier time just flying through here. So we'll see if it starts to sell off anytime soon. I mean, today it's already moved $97 and it usually moves 60. So I mean, and New York's not even open yet, so it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I'd be looking for some sort of pullback. So if we drop it down lower time frames, we can see, I mean, it's just, yeah, even the 4 hour, like it's way above the moving average, and it's just been nothing but bulls. Like there's been barely any even bearish candles here. 1, 2, 3, like just barely. So yeah, super bullish. Let's see if we let's pretend that it's going to sell off now and it's not going to go any higher. I mean, this would be our 50% 618 zone. Just want to see if I even like this area. Yeah, this area, it looks pretty good. I mean, it might keep going still, so we'll see where this 50% 618 area really ends up after this is kind of done, because it's not going to shoot up like this forever. I mean, it's going to have some sort of pullback, even if it is bullish, and I do believe it is bullish, and it's going to continue higher. It's got to pull back, right? Because every time this goes up, it runs out of buyers, right? The smart money is buying on sale. They're not buying up here after it breaks new highs. That's just not happening. So it's going to need a pullback at some point. So that's what I'd be waiting for. There's a little bit of a little area right here actually, which I also like, because when trend is really strong, which this appears to be, price will pull back to the 38.2 and then get bought up here, which tells me that the trend is indeed strong. So the 38.2 is a really good level too, to, if you like in this situation, if we wanted to buy it and it let's say it came down to here and it rejected heavily, I would say, oh yeah, buy it all day, because we just know the trend is strong. And you can see there's previous liquidity in this area here and here. If you drag this across, you can see here. So this is a pretty significant area too. So I like these. I like both of these. If this keeps going up, what will happen is this could just become the 50% 618 level. It would be in here. So that would make sense too. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. But oops, I'm just going to see here. We got all this in mind. Let's figure out our ranges. So, I mean, they're a little all over the place because the extra liquidity in the market now has really screwed up the ranges, but that's okay. So we're already at almost $200 for the week, and it usually only moves 144. So we're super overextended on the week, just on average. So, but then for the month, we've only moved $333, and we usually move 475, 480. So we still have room on the month on average. So that makes me feel better. I think this definitely could keep going a little bit higher. But like I said, I'd be waiting for that pullback. So we'll delete these zones for now, and we will just we'll figure out because I'll look back at this next week, but we'll just say that price makes it up to 1950 here before selling off, and then before retracing. So we're just going to estimate. We don't know for sure. We'll have to see how it plays out, but your 50% 618 level right here would be what I am shooting for. So obviously we got to wait for this pullback, and then once price comes into this area, I wait for another shift of structure. So we'll start seeing bear candles sometime soon, maybe between 1850 and 1950, And then once price comes down into this area, you want to start to see rejection, and then you want to see on the lower time frames, like 5 minute, a shift of structure. So higher highs, higher lows once price hits this area. And then you just wait for a bullish engulfing candle, just like we've seen many here. You wait for that in that zone, and something like this. As soon as price hits this, like you can see this little area here. So let's say price hits this area, starts wicking, then you get this nice bullish engulfing candle like that, and then boom, then you enter your position, and then I would target depending on this zone, and then there's a zone up here I would also target, and then you would just keep your ranges in mind. So let's just say we're gonna delete this for now, so we know where we're gonna enter, we know why we're gonna enter, we possibly know when we're gonna enter. I mean, obviously once it's in this area, but then we're shooting for this. So like if we wanted to base a weekly trade, so let's say it takes an entire week for the price to come down here, so we're looking at like potentially next Monday, which would be right there. So we'll say next Monday, theoretically price is pulled back, it's made its way back down here. Our weekly range is still roughly $150, so that's what we can shoot for. I mean, we can even extend a little bit. We can shoot for like 188 just to be the top of this area. And I mean, this is next week's potential trade, because like for me it's got to come down. I don't want to go all the way to Sunday. It's a full week, so this is what I mean, 150 is really the average, but we've really extended the average this week, so who knows, the average could be going up, so we have to keep that in mind as more liquidity comes in the market. So we'll say the average is $189 a week. This is our trade position. We keep our stop below whatever those wicks create, and then ideally keep your stop below this 4-hour moving average. This 4-hour moving average will catch up with price, and then we keep our stop below it as protection. This is an excellent trade. I think we just got to be patient. I wouldn't buy it yet. We delete the zone, and then I would target, as of next Monday. I mean, it's a new month, so really you're looking at almost like probably $450, $500 worth of range. So I mean, we could actually target much higher than this, depending on next week, if we wanted to go for a more monthly based setup, or multiple weekly setups inside that monthly, which is what I usually do. There's a lot to look at after, but I think the way I look at this is like, okay, we know this is bullish now, we know it wants to go up, but we're not going to jump in on it yet. We're going to let everything settle down, just because it has moved so much. I mean, $300 in a week is crazy. So and it's been just straight up, so I would let this settle out a little bit. I mean, it's coming into a high liquidity zone too, so like even if you were to take a trade here, let's say you're just gonna buy it today, set my stop at the bottom, the low of today, what am I targeting? Like possibly $2,000, middle of this really intense liquidity zone. Like you might get a 1.5 hour, so to me that's terrible. So I don't think that's a good trade. So I wait for this pullback, wait for everything to settle down, wait for all the buyers to come into the market, which will be in this zone, and then I capitalize on it. So that is what I'm looking for Ethereum. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.